us today to learn more about our criminal justice program and, ask any questions that you want to. Today we have with us Joe Schmitz, the program coordinator for our criminal justice program. And he's going to share with you guys a little bit more about the program and what it all entails. If you do have any questions throughout the presentation, there is a question and answer box there, and you can submit your questions, and then we will get to those at the end of the presentation. All right, well, we can go ahead and get started.
Thank you, Debbie. I'm Joe Schmitz. As Debbie said, I'm the Criminal Justice Program Coordinator here at Pellissippi. And thank you again for popping in tonight. Glad to see some interest in our program. We've worked very hard in our criminal justice program at Pellissippi to make it a transformative program. A lot of people, when they think of criminal justice programs or getting a criminal justice degree, they kind of get locked into a limited number of careers that they actually consider. A lot of people only consider maybe something such as a police officer or a corrections officer, something along those lines. We take quite a bit broader look at the criminal justice system, and we try to expose all of our students to other careers. There's well over 100 different career paths and different types of careers that you can get into the criminal justice system. And it can be a law enforcement officer or a corrections officer. There's also all kinds of counseling, corrections counseling and advocacy jobs. One of our advisory board members, I'll back up just a little bit. Our program while we run our own program, we reach out to the community. We have what we call stakeholders or community partners that sit down with us twice a year, and they help us guide our program. What kind of things should we be teaching? What kind of things are going to be most beneficial to students who are wanting to get into the job market? And what kind of things do they need? So if they want to hire someone, what do they want those students to know? We have a group of people that include leadership from the Knoxville Police Department, from several different sheriff's departments and smaller police departments in the area. We also have Sharm Allen, the Knox County District Attorney, Jimmy Dunn, who's the District Attorney over Sevier, Jefferson, and Cott County. These people all sit down with us, like I said, twice a year and have lots of great ideas. And the other awesome part that goes along with that, they help provide internship opportunities within our program. And just great guidance to our students, and honestly, even mentorship. They often take our students underneath their wings. Something I'm proud of, I only got here about a little over a year and a half ago now. And one of the first students that we graduated the first term I was here actually just graduated from the Knoxville Police Department Academy. Actually, he'll be graduating tomorrow, and I'm going to be going to his graduation. That's part. Something that's really kind of cool, at least touching for us, is that we actually like to see our students succeed. Not that you would expect anything different, but we get very invested in it. We're reaching out to our students frequently. We treat our program very much so like a family. We generally have about 200 students enrolled in our program. We have 2 full-time faculty and right now 3 adjunct or part-time instructors that work with us. Our full-time faculty are myself and Professor Donna Trogdon. We advise all of our own students. We do academic advising. In other words, we bring you in, help you get set up for classes, make sure you're on the right path. But when we sit down to do that, we talk about all kinds of other things, such as, do you want a 2-year degree? Do you just need a 2-year degree? Or do we need to start talking about maybe following on another degree at another school? And we look at those schools, and honestly, we sit down with each student every term to make sure that they are on a path for success. And again, we work very much like a family. We take interest in what our students are doing, not just today, but what they do in the future. And we always get excited with new students. With that said, a little bit of a segue. Last fall, maybe early spring, we got together. We have a criminal justice club, and 3 of our graduates asked if there was something they could do for our program. They enjoyed the time they had with us, and they said they thought what would be cool is to put together a little bit of a video for us to show people that might be interested in the program. So I am going to bring this up and share this video with you. Give me just a second here. I had it ready and set it aside. All right. Sorry, I hate dead air. Talk a lot. And we will share. And this will just take a few minutes. So we are pretty proud of our students that they put that together, because our students do have they have a great time. We have a lot of laughs. We, of course, have a lot of serious talks. We don't teach somebody how to be a police officer. We don't teach somebody how the system worked yesterday. We don't try to tell them that the criminal justice system we have in the United States is the best system ever. We challenge every student that comes in to better themselves and to be a part of bettering the world around them as they move forward, hopefully into criminal justice careers. We have 3 general degree paths within the criminal justice program, and we advise all students in all 3 of these areas. We have an Associate of a Science degree that you can earn with a concentration in criminal justice, where you'll take 4 basic criminal justice classes, a whole bunch of gen eds, such as history and some science and an extra English courses such as that. And is what that program does is it sets you up very well to go to certain 4-year institutions. There's another degree that looks very similar, which is the AS, the Associate of Science, and the Associate, I'm sorry, I said AS again. There's the Associate of Science degree, and then there's the Associate of Arts degree. The Associate of Arts degree is a little bit different in that it has foreign language requirement. So some schools that you might want to transfer to, if you're interested in a 4-year transfer, would require that you have a foreign language completed to have a nice smooth transfer into their program. So when we talk to our students, we work very carefully that we don't get them boxed into any one of our degree programs, but each time we talk, we try to make sure that we're still in the program that works best for them. We advise that classes be taken in a certain way so that you have options as long as possible while you're exploring exactly what you want to do. So that's 2 of our programs, just in very general terms, the AA and the AS. The third program, or the third degree program, which is very popular amongst our students, is the AAS, the Associate of Applied Science. The difference with the AAS is you have just a very few gen ed classes. By gen ed, I mean you do have to take a math class. There's a speaking class or communications class that you have to take, sociology or a psychology class, things like that. But most of your classes are going to be filled up with criminal justice specific, what we call career tech classes, which means you're going to learn things like we have a crime scene investigation class. We talk in some of our classes very focused about homeland security, but specifically about communications issue. We focus more heavily on criminal law. And the classes we take, because we do have quite a few options, the classes we offer, we advise students down certain paths based what they think they want to do. The student doesn't know, we kind of do a sampler platter if they want to do that AAS program, where they do a little bit of everything as they try to explore which career path might be best for them. Other students know they want to go into corrections. They want to be a correctional officer. So we kind of have some classes picked out that work best for them. Thing you need to know if you're interested in coming to our program, that when you come to our program, we will work with you one-on-one to make sure that it's going to be right for you, that you're going to be happy with it. The other thing that we do in our program is if you're not sure and you're just interested, you can start out with one of our degree programs. We very carefully sequence our classes so that as long as you're getting advising from us, that say after your first term, you go, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know that I still want to do this criminal justice thing. we will absolutely be happy to help you find some other passion within the school. We'll help point you to advising. We'll help point you to other program coordinators so that you can be successful, because that's what we want, is for you to be successful. All of our faculty, myself included, are not pure academics. By that is what I mean is that we all have worked or are working in the field currently. I spent 27 years as a police officer and detective, and I won't go a whole lot into that. I'm more than willing to anytime, but I don't like talking about myself a lot. Professor Trogdon, she worked Department of Defense Intelligence and did Department of Defense investigations. We have our adjuncts. One is a chief of police. One is a probation parole officer. Another one has worked both corrections and in law enforcement. We have people that specialize from time to time in legal matters and the law. And the reason we do this is, if you're going to come take classes with us, we want to make sure that you're getting current, relevant information from people that live it and work it in the field, and from people that know what all the different jobs are that you might be able to do. So all of our faculty, you can reach out and talk to and try to go on your own exploration. We help you make contacts so that you'll be successful that way as well, because Professor Trogdon and I have a great wealth of contacts, but so do all these other people that are going to be there to help you as well. The AAS program, to kind of skip back to that a little bit, has a little bit different ending. Only in the AAS program can you do an internship or a practicum. And they are two different things, but they're what I call the capstone classes. You'll either do an internship or a practicum. The internship, you're going to go out and work about 137 hours for an entity in the criminal justice field that you have a great interest in, and you're going to get credit for it. Now, it won't necessarily be paid. It kind of depends on the circumstances and where you're placed, but you're going to get a great opportunity to network with people that are working in the field again, and really make that last decision and have one good, strong chance to explore your chosen field or where you see yourself working. The practicum is a little bit different, and then it works well for people that have a full-time job and maybe can't get that 137 hours of field work in. I'm sorry. So the practicum is a large research project, and I call it large because you're going to spend 16 weeks on one research project, but it's guided. These students meet with me every week. We talk about the project from week number 1, and it culminates in about a 15 to 16 page research paper that also involves going out and learning more deeply about a specific topic that interests you as a student, and that can further your knowledge at the very end and demonstrate your knowledge as well. After you finish this 15 to 16 page paper, it actually gets looked at by several people. Now, I will back up to say that even in your internship, you're going to write a smaller paper if you go that route. And we have professionals in the field as well as faculty look this paper over. And then you would appear before a small board, and a small board will probably be 7 to 10 people. It kind of depends on who all is available at the time, but it'll be faculty from the criminal justice program, probably a dean or other faculty from other places in the college. And also the most important part to us is to have these field partners come in. So we have had chiefs of police, we have had probation officers. Pellissippi State Community College has its own police department, and we do work closely with them. Usually one of their officers will sit in on our practicum or internship review board as well. These people get a chance to see our students put their best foot forward. For the practicum or the internship, when we get down to the very end and we do this board, we have worked with you for several terms to make sure that you are going to put your best foot forward. So when you have that last meeting before that board, you are going to shine. You will absolutely shine. And again, it's a chance for you to showcase what you've learned, and a chance for you to get in front of professionals that maybe will look at you and say, hey, I remember them from when I sat on that board. They might be an okay choice. So in a nutshell, we have a great time. It's a wonderful program with tons and tons and tons of activities within it. And we're always looking for new people. We love it. We do have online classes and some face-to-face classes. We're kind of morphing the program, I will say. I'm not saying it's getting worse. There's less options. We're having more options all the time. Right now, as of today, most of our classes have been based at Strawberry Plains, which, if you're not familiar, is at the far east end of our service area. But it's pretty convenient. We have students that go there from Lenore City. We have students that come down from Morristown. I've had one from Oak Ridge. We've even had students from Greenback that will travel all the way over to Straw Plains to take these classes, and they really seem to enjoy it. We are looking in the future of making more options. We're talking about, even after COVID, having options where you could attend some classes, if not most of them, by Zoom, by remote, or from another campus. Even though we might not be teaching it, say at the Blount County campus, you might be able to go there to take the classes as well. So we're trying to make them as accessible as we can to as many people as possible. In the very beginning, I talked about that we are proud that we have one student that is graduating from the Knoxville Police Department Academy tomorrow. But we also have a lot of other professionals that are actually within our program right now as far as taking classes and working on their degree. We have 2 members of the Tennessee Highway Patrol that are actually taking courses with us right now. We have students that are working corrections for Knox County, Blount County, and several other small departments that are with us. So we're pretty proud that the professionals have looked at our program as well and see it as a quality program that will help them better their careers. If you are thinking about law enforcement, I can actually help you out just a little bit more by telling you there's a few little special deals that we have. There is a program if you're under 21 years old, if you're at least 18 and less than 21, with the Knoxville Police Department, where you can apply for a job with them where you would be a Knoxville Police Department cadet. And that is a full-time paid job. In other words, they're paying you for 40 hours a week, but you only work 32 hours a week. And they give you time and sometimes a little extra money to be able to take some courses still. It's really designed for students who want to get to work in the field and can help out the Knoxville Police Department by doing some work for them, get paid for it, and still complete your degree. The great part for a lot of those students is that while they're doing their cadet work, that can count as an internship. And the same thing for the other professionals. When they get down to needing an internship, they can use their job as an internship and just simply reflect on what they've done and what they've thought about differently since they've taken their classes. And that's really what it's all going to be about. So we really do try to encourage students to get as involved as they can in the field. And the same thing works for Ms. Allen with the Knox County District Attorney's Office. She's working hard to make sure that she provides internships for students that want to do something different, that don't want to do what we think is a traditional jobs. She has some clerking jobs in her office, and she will have students work with domestic violence advocates and things such as that to make sure that all of our students have the best experience they can get before they graduate from Pellissippi State. So that is kind of what I have in a nutshell here. It was a little brief, but I will encourage anybody that has any questions or wants any more information whatsoever to go ahead and send me an email. Right now, that's probably the best way to get a hold of me in COVID. And I'll tell you exactly what I do is you will email me, and I'd love to talk to people face to face if they want to. We can schedule an appointment. I have some awesome appointment scheduling that you can use in order to get an appointment with me so we can talk about what actually will work for you the best. And I can answer all those questions that you might have. So I will put this up now. Just one second, sorry. So on this slide, there's not much there, but that's our email address. That is our Criminal Justice Department email address. And it's simply criminal justice, all one word, at pstcc.edu. Criminal justice at pstcc.edu. Now, I do have time right now. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, please, you can put them in the question and answer box there if you like, and I'd be more than happy to entertain them. All right, if not, thank you so much for attending tonight. I so appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to share all I can about our program and hopefully set you on a road to success. So everybody have a great night, and back to you, Debbie.
Great. Thank you guys again for joining us for our webinar. We really do appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys about our criminal justice program. If you are interested in Pellissippi State and you haven't applied and you're thinking about coming for the fall semester, then our application for the fall is open now, and you can go to our website and fill that out. It doesn't cost anything to apply. You just fill out the application, and then we'll get back with you on what else needs to be done with your application process. But thank you again for joining us. If you do have questions about the criminal justice program, then you all have that email where you can send them information. And then they'll get back with you as soon as they can. But I hope everyone has a great night and that you guys learned something, and just let us know if you have more questions.